All right, now I have a lot of information to share with you. I've written down some notes. If I look away, I'm not trying to be disrespectful or anything. It's just a lot to cover. So bear with me. All right, as I mentioned before, we're going to be talking about senior living options. So this video is good for those of you who are about to be seniors, who just transitioned into being seniors, who have been seniors for a while, and those of you who are taking care of family members who are seniors. Hopefully, you will find that the information that I share with you is beneficial. First, let me start off like this. If you are about to become a senior, really you should do this way before. There are several free programs out there to assist you to go over your retirement, to see what you have in your 401k, to see what you have in your pension. These free programs can be found on a website called prosper.org. Now, their database on that website is not up to date. So what you have to do is scroll down, call the phone number at the bottom, and tell them what state and what city you live in, and tell them that you're looking for senior programs. They will direct you to agencies, mostly nonprofits, that will either assist you with financing or will assist you with housing, and will also assist you with applying for or give you a grant. Some of them have matching fund programs known as individual development accounts. So for, let's say, every dollar that you put down, they'll match it with 2, 3, or 4. It depends on the program that's being offered. And not all of them offer these programs, so just keep that in mind. The other place that I'd like to mention, particularly for those of us in New York, there is a free program called Financial Empowerment. They are located throughout the 5 boroughs. Again, they will give you free credit, free budgeting, and free retirement counseling. They'll also refer you to an investment counselor at the end if you want somebody to go over all of the funds that you invest in. So that's just to prepare you financially for the housing that you want to partake in. The next place that you should go to if you've just become a senior is your state agency on the aging. They have, particularly if you want to rent, they have a list of all of the apartments that are available in your state, normally public apartments, and you would go there and apply for those apartments. Now, I'm just going to let you guys know this. The demand is high for low income and the supply is low. So the earlier you apply, the better it is for you. Also, know this, when you do apply, it may take a while before you actually can get in, meaning if you apply today, that doesn't necessarily mean you'll get in tomorrow. It may take a year or longer to qualify. Now, in addition to that, what I want to say is, for those of you who are investors, you may want to think about, or developers, you may want to think about either buying a building and turning it into senior housing, or you may want to develop senior housing homes or senior housing apartments. 10,000 people a day become seniors. So your demand will be extraordinary. And if you do low income, a lot of times there are grants to investors who are going to rent to, or who are going to sell, either way, to senior citizens. So keep that in mind. Next thing, housing for those who want to stay in their homes. A lot of times when people are approaching 65 or who have already passed on 65 who own a home, a lot of times reverse mortgages is pushed on you. There are pluses and minuses to using reverse mortgage. Number one, let me just tell you what reverse mortgage is for those of you who don't know. Reverse mortgage allows you to use the escrow on your home. It's normally 50 to 60% of the escrow as a loan. And it pays, basically it pays you a little bit a month so that you can have some money in your pocket. A lot of times people use that so that they can pay for a nurse to come into the home. Which, by the way, leads me to this. There are actually, if you go to the Department of Aging, they actually do have people on hand, probably not enough, but they do have people on hand to help you with chores like pulling weeds, doing dishwashing, laundry, and also shoveling snow. I know that when I was on disability, I did sign up for that. And I believe they only actually showed up once because I'm in a big city and I know that there's not enough volunteers in the city to cover everybody. So luckily I did have friends that helped me out. But that service is available free of charge. And again, that is from the Department of Aging. Or you can just, if you're in New York, just call 311 and they'll add your name to the list and send someone over whenever there's a problem. Yeah, well, let me get back to reverse mortgaging. So reverse mortgaging, as I said before, allows you to borrow 50 to 60% off of the equity of your home. It's not taxable. They don't check your credit. And there's no recourse on the loan, meaning if you, the way you pay it back is if you have to either move, sell your home, or die. So let's say your children get to own that property because you've passed on. If the amount borrowed was $200,000 and they can only sell your home for $150,000, then the bank has to take $150,000. So that's the good part about the reverse mortgage. The bad thing about reverse mortgage is this: the loan origination fees are high, and it's an adjustable rate mortgage. Also, you may find that there are some modification programs that offer a lower rate to you that might be more beneficial and more into whatever your needs are. You might not need to do a reverse mortgage at all, even though there's that push to do so. HUD is the one that administers it and where you would get your counseling. However, you can go somewhere else like the Financial Empowerment or prosper.org and speak to one of those nonprofit agencies and speak to them and get their opinion as to whether or not only do you, if you qualify, but do you actually need to even apply for the reverse mortgage? So just keep that in mind. Again, I would like to reiterate, there are grants to repair your home. There's also grants for heating and energy assistance. Where you would go to get those grants, you would go to benefitscheckup.org. You can also go again to prosper.org. You can also go to another website that I've mentioned before, which is needhelppayingbills.com. And you just go there, you go to seniors, you go to your state, and sometimes they have it broken down by city, and you call whatever number or you go to whatever website is there to get the information that you need. When it comes to selling your home, if you are a senior citizen and you want to sell your home, there are real estate agents that specialize in dealing with seniors, and that is seniorrealestate.com. Again, I will be dropping the websites below after the video is finished. Now, Another option is senior living facilities. There is a website called seniorliving.org. It gives you a list of assisted living facilities, home care, and nursing homes. So it's extremely comprehensive. It lists both for-profit and nonprofit. Medicare, unfortunately, does not cover these expenses. So there is the Congregate Council, I believe, that does provide subsidies and support. Again, you would have to go there and you would have to apply to get those. Before you choose a facility, one of the places that you should check first is your state or the state licensing, I can't say this word so good, Ombudsman office, to see if there were any complaints filed against any of these living facilities. In addition to that, you want to take a check as what kind of amenities are offered at these senior living facilities. For example, do they have bingo, poker, golf courses, knitting? Are they near hospitals? Are they near transportation? You should consider that, especially those of you who are leaving a big city and you want to go and live in another state and city. Sometimes the other states and cities don't have the same resources that your original home state does. So think about that before you go paying $2,000 to $5,000 a month at some of these senior living facilities. Of course, when you fill out the contracts, make sure you have a lawyer to go over everything. Now, the other thing I want to mention is because it does mention home care, and sometimes what people do is they'll have their parents or grandparents move in with them, and they'll put their parents or grandparents' name on the mortgage. I just want to let you know, those of you who live in states where the dower is still active, you cancel the dower when you do that. You do get the tax credits, and you get a lot of other benefits, sometimes lower energy bills and what have you. But when you put your mother's name on the deed, you cancel. In a lot of cases, you cancel the dower. So I would definitely check with the lawyer, mention it to the lawyer before, to see if it's the right move for you before you proceed. Now, going back to investors, for those of you who want to buy property and make it for seniors, I tried to do this and was not successful. I'll tell you why. It's good to have a team, first of all. The realtors and the contractors that I found that know what modifications need to be made and are familiar with the regulations, they did not work in the county in which I bought my property. If I had known, then what I would do, I would have searched for property in the county that they were in, so that it would have been a lot easier for me to convert the properties that I bought into senior living facilities. So please don't make the same mistake that I made in that. I mean, things are working out, they're turning around, but that was a mistake that, or something that I wasn't aware of, that I'd like to share with those of you who are investors, particularly who want to invest out of state. The next thing I want to let you guys know is many seniors, some of them are disabled, so the home will have to be modified as far as adding ramps. You may have to change the flooring. You may have to widen the doorways so that wheelchairs can come in and out. You may have to put grab bars in the bathrooms so that they have something to hold on to in case they slip and fall, which is something that tends to happen a bit as we all get older. So that is pretty much what I wanted to share with you guys, and I hope you guys find this information helpful. And again, at the end, I will be adding the links at the bottom so that you can go there and check it out. Bye for now. Have a great, well, rest of your night. Okay, bye.